back to Tracking the Wolves, and today we're joined by six-year head swimming coach Elyce Kastigar. Coach, how's the season going so far?
It's going really well. We're 9 days out from the conference meet, so of course we're very excited heading into that, and it's been a long season. Our first practice was August 30th, so now that we're heading into February, they are ready to wrap up the season and end up with some great swims.
Now, swimming is one of those sports that the season really is one of the longest seasons in any NCAA sport. How do you keep your student athletes motivated? You go through a holiday break, you kind of, from August to February conference tournament, it's such a long time. How do you keep them focused?
Well, I think the competition is definitely part of that. We can't go too long of spans without some competition so they can see where they're at and that they're making progress. Mid-season, December 1st, 2nd, 3rd, we were at Rochester, where we're going to be for our conference meet. And I think that we do a rest going into that, not a full taper, and typically they're going to perform pretty well. And I think then that keeps them fired up to hang in there and work hard through the remainder of the season.
Now, this is the first year that the NSIC has sponsored swimming. What has that done for your program, and what's the projection moving forward for the sports sponsorship in the conference?
Well, I think with that, it's very positive. One, in that it's going to have less impact on our budget. Being part of the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference really was good for us at the time, but we had to travel so far for our conference meet. We're going to be in Rochester, Minnesota, and of course we have our 4 schools that are part of the Northern Sun, and then we've got 4 affiliate members. It's going to be very competitive, and so I think in one aspect that's really good for us because we have something to work for, but for us to move up the rankings and get really high right now, that's going to be really difficult for us. But I think moving forward it's going to be good because we'll have a lot more competition within the season with some of these schools that we haven't had before in the past.
Now, this year's roster has 5 seniors, and the program has been in existence for 6 years. What has the class of seniors this year meant to the program in terms of continue to build it and make it to where you want it to go?
Well, I think with those first athletes that come into your program and developing a new program, they have a huge impact of what your program's about, where it's going to go in the future. And so they all have had a significant part of where we've been, not just establishing the swimming aspect of it, but I think the classroom, the standards that we set for the program when recruits come in, these are the things that we're looking for. This is where we want to move forward from where we already are. So they've been a significant part of this program.
Now, this year, a couple of the seniors specifically, you talk about some of the performances we've had thus far with some of the relays, some of the highlights in the last couple of meets. What have you seen with some of that senior leadership?
Well, I think one, I think they kind of set the tone for how the competition's going to be at meets. It's, we need to come in there as a team. It's not all about just the individuals, but it's everybody that will impact that bottom score. And they really, I think, have that presence of getting the team set for what we're going out to achieve at the swim meets. And certainly we have individuals like Allie Samuels, who is going to be a scorer for us at every meet. And those things are really important because without points, we're not going to get on the record board. So that's really important.
What do you look for with recruiting? What's your recruiting base? And we've had student athletes from Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota. What's your pitch to recruits to come to Northern State University?
Well, I think one is the school itself, the smaller school, I think is definitely a big pitch. There's a lot of good benefits here. I think when the student athletes get into their major, they're going to have class sizes that are a lot smaller. They have a good rapport with the professors, and I think they have a good student base that they have a lot of classes with, so they know those individuals that they're going to be working on in projects or whatever it might be. But I think that's definitely a first pitch to them. As far as our program, I think we are a Division II program. I think it works well with the academics. They don't feel overburdened. Our meet schedule, I think, is in a way that it doesn't take too much away from academics. And of course, we're a building program. They can come in and make a big impact on the program and still have a significant impact of where we're going to go into the future.
Well, fun fact about Coach Kastigar, she was a All-American at University of Minnesota, Big Ten champion. Talk about that in terms of your background, your expertise. She's also the head of our Aberdeen Swim Club in the community here. all those different pieces, how does that play into your, I guess, your ability to coach?
Well, I think over the scope of years from even when I was swimming, things have changed a lot with the sport. One in rules, one in construction of facilities, the swimwear that athletes can wear. So there's been a lot of changes. And today there's a lot of things out there as far as the sport. But I think, when growing up, I had a lot of good, solid coaches. Of course, at the University of Minnesota, I had coaches who they were my mentor, and a lot of things that I do now I take from them, but certainly with the changes in the sport, 5 years from now there can be a lot of growth and changes, so you have to stay on top of what's happening within the sport. You can't just stay with, well, we're going to keep doing the same thing we've been doing for the last 20 years. So I think learning and developing that sport from where it is and being able to have a vision to move forward and have an impact that way with the sport.
Great. Another fun fact, Coach is a piano player, so she does like to play piano in the spare time, so that's pretty exciting here. Very well-rounded individual. Coach, best of luck the rest of the season here, and we'll see you again next week on Tracking the Wolves.
Thank you.